joining us for the ATD San Diego chapter's Get Good with Articulate Storyline. I'm John Morley, an instructional designer and external consultant. So if I can help you with a project, I'm going to put let's see if I can find the chat window here, put my email address in the chat window. And that's me. So who are you? If you would please enter your name in the chat window along with where you're logging in from. And if you would like to network with other participants, including your email address would make that a lot easier. No one knows everything about Storyline, especially me. So this is our opportunity to talk shop and share what we do know. Toward that end, to take over the latter part of this hour, we are fortunate to have with us this is Daniel Canaveral. Daniel is an e-learning specialist with Lincoln Financial Network. He is an industry-recognized visual designer, expert, and e-learning developer. He is a frequent contributor to the Articulate e-learning challenge, where I met him. He's located in northern Indiana, and Daniel enjoys developing innovative online learning solutions. His email address, as soon as I can copy and paste, is going to be in the chat window. Where'd the chat window go now? So Daniel, would you like to say hi after that build up?
I would. John, this is an honor. Thank you for allowing me to do this.
Okay. In past workshops, I've noticed that the guest presenters were a little rushed trying to get through everything they have, and I felt a little rushed. So next year, I'm thinking about moving to a different format. So I'll give the guest presenter the entire hour every other workshop, and then the intervening workshops, I'll take an hour to go into what I am doing. Does that sound like a good idea? Or I should ask, does that sound like a bad idea to anyone? Do we need any sort of discussion on that?
No, sounds good.
Okay. In that case, I will move along here and say that we're talking about web objects tonight. Embedding web objects intrigued me, thinking that the entire internet was now at my disposal for content, but not really. Yes, you can embed virtually any website page, but no, you can't necessarily edit it down to just the content you want. If you're clicking along, now would be a good time to get clicking. I'm going to share my screen again. Go over here. Okay, start a new project. In the upper left hand, click File and then click New, and you'll see something similar to this. Double click the slide to open it up, and we're going to insert a web object, and that is done by going to the upper left again, the Insert menu. So click Insert. And about halfway over, there's Web Object. So click Web Object, and this dialog window pops up. Now, hypothetically, think that you want to put something in front of your learners about the 50-year secrecy rule for Nobel laureates. Don't ask why, but we're being hypothetical here. So what I'm going to put in the chat window here, Control C, Control V, is the website address. Copy and paste that, please. And we are going to put that in this field here where it says address. Just click in there, Control V to paste. So you should be seeing something similar to this on your screen if you are clicking along. And now you'll see right below that is a test link. So let's click test link and see what happens. I'm waiting for and there we are. We are at the Wikipedia page now for Nobel laureates and do not see the 50-year secrecy rule anywhere. So let's just scroll all the way down to the bottom here, past this huge table, go to the bottom. Now go up a little bit right under the table and look at that. It says 50-year secrecy rule. So click in that and now right click. If you right click that, you'll see this right click menu, and all the way at the bottom, you see inspect. Click inspect, and oh my goodness, look at this. This is a whole world of interesting stuff here. And let's take a look. There's something highlighted here. And we're interested in ID is the secret word here. In this context, ID creates an anchor. This allows people who know how to do it to go right to this part in the website rather than seeing the whole thing. And the salient information here is within the quotation marks. 50-year secrecy rule. You could copy that, paste it, and then parse that out, but I'm going to make it easier for you by putting it in the chat window here. Please go back to Storyline here. I'll pump this up again. Now, don't paste it yet. Go in here at the end of the address that you already have and add the pound sign or the hash sign or whatever this thing is being called right now. This is the secret code that makes this all work. So put the hashtag in there first and then copy and paste the 50-year secrecy rule. Now let's see what happens. Click the test link. Very handy that Storyline lets us do that. And look at that. We go right to the 50-year secrecy rule this time. The learner can scroll up and have access to the entire website, but they can also, if this is all they need, you've taken them right to what they actually need. So let's go back to Storyline here and just accept the defaults here and click OK, and we'll see what happens now. Very important point here. You cannot preview this. The only way you can see the web objects is to actually publish it. So I'm clicking publish here. Now click publish and let's see what happens. Publish, we want to publish to the web, select web here. So this will publish to your very own local hard drive. This is exciting. So click view project. And this is what your learner would see on the internet. Again, you can, your learner, your user can scroll up and scroll down, and they have access to what we have here. Now, something else you can do with web objects is create a lesson within a lesson, or in what I'm going to show you is actually a game within a lesson. This is a game that we presented in the June workshop. This is a pirate treasure map here. If we click X marks the spot and click dig, well, wow, you are $1 million richer in pretend land. So let's take a look at how that works. We'll go over to, this is what you get when you publish on your local drive. You get this folder here that says it very cleverly identifies itself as Storyline output. And let's take a look at it. This will always have a story.html in it, and that does not work. So what you need to do is notice this lesson web object to embed, and instead of a story HTML, we have an index HTML. Index is the secret word that the internet looks for. So if we go back into, let's go back into see what we're looking for here. So if you on a web object, if you right click it on the right click menu, you have web object here. Click that to edit, and you'll see that here, this allows you to select anything that is locally on your local drive or else on the company server that you're working with. And here we see we're at the lesson web object to embed. And that is the folder that had, you can't see it here, but this is the folder that has the index HTML in it, which makes all of this work. first, let me point out that the web object comes up as this ugly gray blob here, which could be confused. It was confusing to me. I didn't know what to do with it. So you may want to approach this a little bit differently and give your user something like this, which makes a little bit more sense. I'll go back into Storyline and show you what that looks like. The base is just this information and then a button here. Show you the button. Show a layer, the video, named video, when the user clicks the button. And the video, the layer, excuse me, is where the website is embedded. So the way it works is from a user view, they click play, the layer comes up with a much more familiar play video thing here. And there we go. This is and there I am again, but you don't necessarily need to see that. So you may ask, why would you want to do that? And I'm glad you asked, because video files are big. If you add video files to Storyline files, they get even bigger. So if you embed them, if you put the videos on the company server and embed them as links, you have a much smaller Storyline file. You're corralling a bunch of smaller files here and not having to worry about a bunch of a huge Storyline file that's more difficult to manage. So far we have seen that web objects can be used for embedding websites, lessons, and or games, and videos. And as I was saying, that next year I would like to spend the entire hour going into this. There's a lot of stuff here, but that's what I wanted to go over this evening. And this is San Diego. This is the San Diego waterfront right now. You are looking at it right now. Another use for web objects, and this is what Big Bear Mountain looks like at 5:46. Oh, this is what it looks like right now. You can see twilight's coming in. So those are uses for inside web objects. Any questions before we turn it over to Daniel?
I had one question on just something that I encounter, and I don't understand code. You know, I'm not a HTML coder or JavaScript person, but sometimes I notice when I try and embed a web object from a site, you know, you get blocked, like the site won't allow it. So who's got any thoughts on, I just shop around and try and find one that meets my objectives that'll let me access, but I've never really quite, like if they block it, great, no problem. They don't want it to be embedded anywhere, but I just wondered if anyone's got ideas about how to address that.
Well, there's something
I saw heads going like this, so I know it looked like, you know.
Yeah, that's a function of frames. Some websites use something, don't ask me to explain a frame, but a frame is something that a video will play in, and some websites are very protective about that. So they will not let you play that. Typically a button will come up allowing you to play it in a different window. But Ron, do you have any wisdom on that you can impart, or are you as confused as I am?
Not really. I think you know, if there's not copyright issues, then you may be able to download it locally or save it to a local server and then play with it. But if there's copyright issues, then obviously you don't want to play around with that unless you're just goofing around for an e-learning challenge. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that I was messing with, it was like a horoscope. So, you know, you needed to be able to access every horoscope every single day. And I just surfed around till I found one that didn't get blocked. So, you know, then they were, I didn't really care which one I was using. I just wanted that experience for the demo, but
that may be
that
the
was
better
just that one.
that may
Yeah.
be the better part of valor, to just find something that works. But I will, as I said earlier, next year I'm going to go into this in more depth. So I have some time to research this, and I will let you know.
Yeah, I was just curious. I don't use it that often, but just for something fun. It was kind of frustrating to have an idea and then not be able to execute it the way I wanted to. So.
Yeah, it's a lot.
John, is there a security issue if you're embedding stuff that's deeper in your website and you're using the company website? Will that give an avenue for people to figure out, to explore more than you want them to see?
Big deal, big concern there. So doing this, your user, your learner needs to have access to the company server. So typically there would be some sort of firewall involved. And if you do not have the appropriate IP address, you would not be able to get through that firewall. So that is a protection against what you just described. But in any case, it would be a very good, if you're working for a client, to talk with their IT folks about how to keep from happening what you just described. Okay, any other discussion?
No, and too, like I usually am a contractor, so I can never get access to someone's intranet site to even test it. So, I'll get the links from them, and then I have to go, you guys need to test it, because rightfully so, they won't let me have access to it. So I don't always know what it looks like when they want to link to something like that. So I just have to trust that they're testing it. Otherwise, once they launch something, within 3 hours, you get people are complaining they can't get the link, and it's like, I asked you to test it. I can't test it. So
yeah, that's my situation as well. So you have to make friends with the client's IT department and make sure that they actually do test it.
Watch them do it on Zoom and then say, okay, it looks like it's working today, but who knows? And the links get changed on you, and you don't always know that.
So nice being able to share screens and see what other. Speaking of which, we are about to have Daniel share his screen and tell us about expansive learning environments. So, Daniel, you ready to go?
I sure am.
Okay, I will be monitoring the chat window as you hold forth. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John. All right, so expansive learning environments. It's a concept that came about after looking for some graphics for an eLearning Heroes challenge. Don't ask me which one, it's been a while. But it had to do with isometric type of stylistic graphics. So I was looking at stuff like this, and I thought to myself, how cool would it be if we could present the learner with a little mini world like this, and then give them the ability to jump to different parts of that environment to explore more, to see more detailed information regarding each space. And as I looked through, this is freepick.com. It's a wonderful resource. As I was looking through different graphics, I was just amazed by the different, by the number of categories, the number of the diversity of the content that's available there. Like you could use something like this to teach about, how to be a good tourist, do's and don'ts, how to take a good picture, posing, things of that sort. And I was playing around with the idea of this expansion, right? Expanding environments. And so I put this together. This is an expansive menu. So when the learner clicks the hamburger menu there, 4 buttons appear. And when you hover over them, they present you with a description of the topic related to that button and an option to jump to that particular scene or slide. This is just a template, so we don't have anything concrete in here just yet. But the idea is that when they select there, they jump to that scene. And let's see. All right, so that's not playing nice right now. So you're supposed to be able to jump back to this menu. A true false variable is triggered so that the state of this button is changed to a check mark when each of these scene slides have been visited. The main button here changes to a complete course completed or all content visited. Click here to close the course. And so this idea of things hiding behind one another, right? And then being triggered to expand at the click of a button was something that I was intrigued by. So let's see here. So I put this demo together after playing around with with an isometric graphic. I dissected it in Adobe Illustrator, brought in each element as an SVG that thankfully Storyline now accepts. And by playing around with timing and also utilizing the morph transition in PowerPoint, I was able to put something like this together. So the idea is that content is hidden, but when you click it, the different levels expand to reveal more content specific to a given level. All right. And
morph transition is something I'm interested in, and so please be sure to show us how to do that.
absolutely, absolutely. So the way this particular example is set up, it's set up in a more linear fashion. That's how a lot of e-learning courses are set up nowadays. So the idea here is that the learner can't jump to any particular level. They have to click the passport, at which point they are presented with level 1. At this point, we're going to learn about the check-in process. So they can start here, learn about what the process of checking in via a kiosk. They see a state change here to identify that that particular step or option has been visited. They can then hover over here to option number 2, which is checking in with an airport employee or attendant, and then jump back. And then they see that they can now move on to level 2 with the staircase there now becoming normal where it was once hidden. Okay. They're told they need to complete certain tasks before they can move on. All right. And so this is how it's set up. So here they move on to level 3. All right. So level 2, or scene 2 rather, I wanted it to be more of a branching scenario. So here, same deal, they'll open it up. However, this time they're now presented with buttons so that they could jump to a scene of their choice. So here we might select level 3. They can now review this information, and they have the option to go back to the menu to explore other levels at will. All right. All right. So to create this animation here, fairly simple when PowerPoint comes into the picture. So I have two presentations up here. Let me see if I can snag it. There we go. All right, so one is called Morph Levels Expand, and the other is Morph Levels Collapse. And you'll notice that the graphics are exactly the same. They're in the same positions. I just move the scene, the slide
Mhm.
around. All right, so here we go. So we brought in this level, and it's important that you know where you want the content to appear in your storyline file, because you're going to be exporting this as a video. All right.
Mm.
All right. So we brought in level 2, which is going to act as our base. We then create a duplicate of that, and we introduce level 3 and level 1 in this case. And I did swap out level 2 for a graphic that shows a shadow, right? So that's one change that was made there. But the idea here is to select the morph transition and give it a very short duration of 50.
Did you have to click morph before you did any of this, or do you do this looks like 2 separate slides. So do you create the 2 separate slides and then click morph, or click morph first?
You can simply, from the first slide, I just duplicated it and then set that transition to morph.
So you're
Does
saying
that answer your question?
no, you're saying create the 2 slides first and then click morph.
Yes.
Okay,
You
thank
can do that. Yes, yes. Yeah, you're not going to have morph on the first one, just on the second one there. And you do want the first slide to advance automatically after a period of time. I just set it to 0.50 and set the duration to the lowest possible. So this is what it looks like.
Cool.
All right. I think that's pretty smooth. There's not too much lagging or buffering in between. And as I stated earlier, you'll want to export that animation as a video, MP4. All right. And then you'll bring that into Storyline.
So, and it's just sized to match your slide size.
You got it.
Yeah, 16 by 9. Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
Okay. And so in order to get these videos to play, okay, so I probably should back up and demonstrate how we make the collapse, right? So you just swap the order and you update the timing and the transitions. So slide 1, you'll want to take away the transition, set it to none, apply the morph transition to slide 2 now, and update the timing accordingly. Okay, and then of course export that out. And so once you're here in Storyline, you want to bring in both your expand video and your collapse video. And note the time. I have it at about a second. Okay, so the idea is that after a second elapses on the timeline, I want certain things to come on screen. So here we go. So the triggers that we have here is to pause the timeline when the timeline starts, okay? Because what you want to see is just the level 2 hovering with this indicator, click to expand. And once that is clicked, and I do have a custom hotspot to match the shape of that level 2. Okay, so once they select that, it's going to resume the timeline, which is going to trigger the video expand levels to play. That plays until the media completes, at which point the timeline is paused. And before the timeline pauses, we need certain elements to come on screen, namely the labels, the passport graphic, and I believe that's it. Yeah. And so with the timeline pause, the learner can now interact with those newly introduced elements. And then in order to play the collapse video, they'll want to click that that freeform again. I have a second one here. So I have one freeform hotspot that triggers the expand video. And then I have another carbon copy of it set to appear at the 1 second mark that then acts as the trigger for the collapse levels video.
Do you necessarily need to have a pause there? Could this be two separate slides where one slide sets up the click and the click takes you to the next slide rather than the pause and do it all in one slide?
It certainly is possible. I try to avoid having things play across slides
Mhm,
selfishly because I don't like the little buffer that sometimes happens
Right.
mhm,
where, like, it's spinning, it's thinking.
mhm.
So it's probably to my detriment, but I like to cram as much stuff onto one slide if I can, and use layers, because with layers, you don't have that buffering issue.
Well, this sure looks like a better, or a best practice, or a better practice, if not the best practice to do it this way.
Hey,
Yeah,
and Daniel, is the
yes.
slide, looks like it's set up to just stay paused and stay in the, it doesn't reset when you revisit it, right? It stays in the whatever state you left it to go to the other branching, it
Ah.
comes back, right?
So, yes. So I do have a trigger
Mhm.
that has, it's a jump to time, right?
Oh, okay.
So I have it jump to the very start of this timeline when that collapse video
Yeah.
completes. So it
But in
kind of
between,
feels,
it's just coming only for the only when you want people to leave it. In the meantime, they're coming back and it's kind of in a holding pattern until they want to leave it, right?
I do
Yeah,
have,
initial state. That's it.
yep,
Okay.
I do have it reset to initial state. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the way this one works. This is the more linear one, right?
Mhm.
So if I jump over to scene 2, which shows the branching scenario here. So this one works in a very similar way, except now we're introducing 3 buttons, one for each level. And I have that set to appear around the 1 second mark, because that's when the timeline is going to be paused per the trigger, right? We have the trigger pausing the timeline when that first video, the expand video, completes. Okay, and they can interact with those buttons as they would any other button. All right, and of course you can attach triggers to those to track whether folks have completed all 3 or however many scenes or levels you have in place. And yeah, and you can always make sure that when revisiting, it should probably resume saved state so that those triggers update accordingly. Any questions?
Yeah, explain again what makes the go buttons come and go if you're on the same slide and you're just going back and forth on the timeline.
Oh, yeah. So are we talking about on the base layer here,
Yeah,
on this
right.
first one here? Yeah. So in order to have the slide do a pseudo restart, you simply add that jump to the start of the timeline slide when the collapse video completes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have some sort of a variable, a true false variable set up so that you see it, you see the go buttons only after something else happens?
Nope. Those buttons are going to appear because they are set to appear just before the timeline pauses. So if I were to illustrate here,
Oh, so the trigger is the end of the timeline.
the end of the first video playing,
Right.
right? So the slide was paused. That expand video has just completed, and we made sure that these elements and these buttons come onto the stage just before the timeline pauses, right?
Okay,
So,
very nice.
so there is timing is a very big thing to make this work. So plan accordingly when you're at this stage. So if you need it to be a little bit longer, set your duration to a little bit longer. But it can produce a less smooth, a more choppy animation.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so something to keep in mind.
Now, you were talking about maintaining the same aspect ratio, the 9:16. Does it also, do you need the storyline and the PowerPoint to also have the same resolution? I typically use 960 by 540. If I'm going into a 960 by 540, would the PowerPoint also have to be at 960 by 540?
They should match up as much as possible. If we have time, I can demonstrate how, because Storyline has a nasty habit of compressing things, right? They compress your images, they compress your videos. So once you publish a file out, a project out, you can go into the contents folder and swap out the compressed one for your original one, at full resolution, sans compression. That's pretty simple to do.
You have you have 13 minutes. Go for it.
Would you like to see? Okay, yeah, we could give that a
Stage is
try.
yours.
Okay, let's give this a try then.
So I'm guessing that the original illustrations or images would have better resolution than the ones that have been shrunk or.
That's typically the case when you're working with non-SVGs. But when you incorporate SVGs into your project, you're pretty much guaranteed that it's going to look great, even with compression. That being said, folks who use Rise, they notice that when they bring in images into a Rise course, they become a little fuzzy. And so the team at Articulate's been nice enough to teach us the secret of adding that underscore, no process underscore. Is everybody familiar with that?
No.
Yeah, so it's a neat little tip that they shared, but you got to dig for it. I don't know why they don't publish it more on their
fix
site.
it.
Or fix it. There you go, Jody. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so I believe we just published this, didn't we? Let's see.
Yep.
So let me go over here into my downloads. All right. So here's the story content folder in my storyline output. And here are my videos. You'll see that Storyline gives them these funky looking names. Okay. So you want to keep those names handy. Let me see if I can find the original videos.
Would it be better to give them a meaningful name, or is there some reason to keep the?
So you want to
keep.
Oh, go ahead, Jody.
I was going to say, I think they get generated for you, right?
They do.
So you have to match to them, I'm guessing.
Yep. Yeah, the file won't play nicely if you rename it something else.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so let's see. Let me just go ahead and export this once again because I can't seem to find that video. So we'll just export at 1920. Oh, well, there you are. ATD assets, of course. So let's see. I'll go over here. Here we go. All right, so we have two videos, collapse levels and expand levels, right? So when we go, sorry, I'm clicking around here. Let me just open up another window. Probably make life easier. All right, so if I go back and we look at the story content file, we see two videos. So this one starts with them viewing all three. Oh, okay, so here you got to play it to see what video we're working with. And if I were to bring this over here onto this other monitor, we would see we're dealing with the collapse video, okay? So you'll want to select the collapse video, create a copy. You don't want to bring over your original one. Paste that into the folder. And it was this first one. Here you want to snag that name. So copy that. And only after you copy it into your clipboard, then you can delete it. Then you want to rename the original file with that unique name, that storyline generated, right? All right, so you want to do that for the other one as well. All right, so let me see. So this is the compressed version. I mean, it looks pretty good already. But if I play the original one, yeah, it's almost identical. There are some videos where you can see a stark difference.
Yeah.
So folks who have used this technique have noted that it does help to bring back their original resolution. Mm-hmm.
It'd probably
Cool.
be more important with maybe photographs or slides or something like that where you have more detail.
For sure.
This is pretty simplistic images, so who cares if the edges are a little grainy? But you know, if it was somebody's face or it was a view through a microscope or something like that, you might be really concerned about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
Daniel, can I ask you a question?
please, Jody.
So, like, so on your slide too, so when you have two videos, they're basically like sandwiched on top of each other. I couldn't see your timeline. Do you have a veil over them to keep them from getting clicked on, or does it work like other videos, or?
That is a good question. Let me see. So if I were to click this and then click.
Like if you click outside of your, yeah, so that's why I was asking, because I never remember to do that. And then it wouldn't, I don't think it would interfere. And if somebody else got a better idea, like how to keep people, I usually put like a hotspot or something or semi-transparent, but I figured you or Ron or someone would have a better way to do that. That's always my backup when I can't think of anything else to do. So
Sure.
is that the only way to do it, or?
I mean, these videos play so quickly that it's kind of hard to crash it, right? To mess it up. But yeah, I definitely have seen that. The hotspot is one technique, right? The transparent shape is another one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ron, do you have any other techniques, ways of doing things?
No, I got nothing else. But in the case of this, it wouldn't help to have a cover because then you wouldn't be able to click his hotspot. It can open and close. Sorry.
You can't put it underneath, like hotspot cover.
Oh, I guess you could put it under his hotspot. But yeah, in this case, as he said, it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
That's a cool effect. And I was watching it at first. I thought, like, what is that? Is that like a GIF or something? Or what's actors like motion path? So it's kind of cool. I don't use PowerPoint that way very often. So it's a nifty idea.
Oh, thank you. So John did want me to demonstrate, if time allowed, another example of expansive learning.
You have 5 minutes, and that's a very
All right.
cool effect. I want you to definitely show
For
that
sure.
off.
So I couldn't find the video, John, that you and I were discussing the other day. It's maybe folks here on the call have seen it. It's a viral video where an artist pulls out his phone and he starts zooming into his iPhone. And each time he zooms into some minute detail, it reveals another image or photo, painting. And so he just keeps doing that. and he goes like 7 or 8 layers deep, and he's just revealing graphic after graphic. And I thought that was a really cool way to keep learners engaged and create a type of inception type of learning environment. So I was looking at this workplace wellness programs course on Rise 360, and I wanted to see if it was possible to create something similar to that idea that I saw on that viral video. So, so here we have a landing page. We are introducing the concept of workplace wellness programs and how you can implement one in your office. All right. So at this point, we'll have some, let's say we have some narration, and we're going to invite the learner to explore their environment to learn about different categories of wellness. And so here we could have a graphic kind of pointing them, hinting at this image here on the wall. When the learner selects that, they zoom in and they're introduced to the first category, physical wellness. They interact with the slide as they would any other slide. So you can bring in tab interactions, whatever the case may be, videos, and at which point you can tell them to, once again, explore their environment, see if they can find any hints or clues as to the next category. So here we have this image. So if I click that.
That's cool.
All right, so here's occupational wellness. Does anybody see the next hidden graphic?
On his computer?
You got it.
There we go. Yeah, the logo on the computer. That's
Yeah.
subtle.
That's cool.
That'll make them work.
Yeah. So this came about because I was listening to a podcast called the E-Learning Guys. A gentleman named Dave Carney and Nate's, I can never say his last name. He's from, I believe from, it's not Serbia, but one of those Eastern European countries. And on their podcast, they have an episode that talks about the next button and how to get away from the next button or be a little more creative with the next button. And I thought this would be a really good candidate for a way to accomplish that. All right, so here we have the water bottle. Brings us into social awareness.
You are making them work at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, spot the logo.
No passive learning over here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. And then here's the final one here, if you noticed, these notes.
Yep.
So this brings us to the final scene where the learner is encouraged rather, to consider everything they've learned and to put together their own wellness program.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they can always replay it. Yeah, so something like this requires the use of...
Did you do that all in Rise?
So this was all built in Storyline.
Okay.
Along with PowerPoint. So we make use of the morph transition once again.
Okay.
This takes a lot of trial and error because here in Storyline, you're dealing with zoom regions. And Storyline zoom regions are not the most friendly. So you can see here, I have a zoom region of this graphic, which is just a scaled down version of the next, of the slide that that comes right after. Okay, it's just a scaled down version. And the zoom region is set to those to cover that, the dimensions of that slide. And then you have a trigger that that plays the rest of the video, which is that zoom in. So it's going to zoom in with the zoom region, and then on the following slide, I get my words right here. Yeah, on the following slide, that's when they actually see the video play. Okay. There it is, zoom out layer 3. So in order to get that to play correctly, you make use of pause timeline and resume timeline triggers. And yeah, John, I know we said we wanted to possibly table this for another meeting.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. We're running out of time here. I want to let people get on with their evening, especially the people in the East Coast. It's getting late for them. Thank you all, and especially thanks to you, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Oh,
Daniel,
thank
that
That
was
was
you.
a
great.
lot. It was so fun to look at.
Thank you.
And after the bit on the wellness there, I think we should all go out and do some push-ups. Well, we're going to be dark in the month of Christmas, but I'll come back next year. Any suggestions on what else you would like to explore next year?
Well, I think I've always learned a lot, so I think everybody who's showing their work is really great. So, I mean, I never would have thought of what Daniel showed today. It never even occurred in my mind to even try it because I couldn't have conceived of it. So just seeing it's really, I'm still trying to figure out Ron's abacus. So
Yeah, no joke.
And that taught me how to use an abacus in the first place.
Yeah.
So that was a very, very good use of time. Okay, well, with that, thank you all for joining us, participating this evening. Special
great.
thank you to Daniel.
Thank you. That was
Thank you.
terrific. Thank you.
Great presentation. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
See you all.
Everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.